This is In Their Closet Podcast.
Welcome to In Their Closet. I'm your host, Elle Moore, and today I'm joined by Saba Haile.
Hey, guys.
Welcome, Saba.
Thanks for having me.
Saba was born in Asmara in Eritrea, a neighboring country of Ethiopia. She grew up with extremely humble beginnings since her family fled the country as refugees for better opportunities in America. And since she was young, she has always believed that there was more to life than what she was experiencing growing up in government housing, receiving food stamps, and parents working minimum wage. She decided to attend college at Texas Southern University, and graduated with a bachelor's degree in business management. 1 year later, her journey as a single mom began with raising her son, who was born in 2005. Up until that point, she thought that was the hardest part of life. She thought the hardest part of life was behind her, but that was not even close. The relationship with her child's father did not work, and she was forced to sleep on a friend's couch until she had a solid plan, which was to move to Fort Worth, Texas, back with her parents. Saba stated, "That was my ultimate nightmare. What adult child wants to move back with their parents?" She did what was necessary at the time. In 2007, she decided to move back to Houston because she thought she was stable enough to be on her own, but not. The first 2 years, her electricity was cut off numerous times with countless eviction notices because she was living check to check. Through all this trial and tribulation, Saba knew that life had to get better. She decided to self-educate herself with various motivational books, from The Secret to Think and Grow Rich. These books changed Saba's life because she stopped making excuses for herself and started creating opportunities instead. Through the countless struggles that she faced with her family and alone, Saba did not give up on her dreams. She's had the opportunity to work side by side with known NFL players and had multiple Frenchie's chicken side by side with a known NFL player that had multiple Frenchie's chickens. That is when she saw the light. He pushed her to do better and expected more out of her, and together expect more out of herself instead of excuses. She got her credit together and was able to save money to purchase a home for her and her son. In 2012, she started working as pretty much a flunky with no title or anything at one of the biggest income tax franchises, Colbert Ball Tax Services, but worked her way to become the vice president within 6 months. And after 10 years of dedication, it was time to create her own chapter and start Prime Tax Software Limited Liability Company. She assists individuals with that own tax businesses. Let me read this again. She assists individuals that own tax offices with the back end of operating their businesses and give them unbeatable prices. She is at complete peace and looking forward to many more wins. Welcome, Saba.
Hey.
I love this story. I was looking at it earlier and I was trying to see how to minimize it and cut it down, because we do a quick intro when we bring you on to the guest. We want our guests to know who you are. But this is such a great story. It's a story of triumph, and everybody can relate to this. I mean, I can relate to being a single mom and the struggles of being a single mom, but also it's the mindset. And so we're going to get into all that because you're an example, to many, many women, not just African-American women, or I guess in this case, African women.
Yeah, really. A real African.
But business owners. I mean, what a story of triumph. So thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I met you during the DBA Awards that was presented by A Few Good Men. I had an opportunity to introduce you. I read your bio and I began following you. I love you. I love your page. I love the stuff that you share. It's always just inspirational. It's motivational. And I was like, you got to come on.
In a little ratchet.
We need that. This is Houston, Texas. So your story is about moving from a whole different country into America and then becoming a success. So you're the American dream.
Almost. Not where I want to be, but yeah, like I remember growing up, going, imagine being here, not knowing how to speak English. I was that person. I can say the funniest stories, peeing on myself because I didn't know how to tell the teacher, hey, I need to use the restroom. I'm just going to sit here and just pee on myself.
What language were you speaking?
So I speak Tigrinya.
Okay.
Same language as Nipsey Hussle's family.
Yes.
We're from the same country. I think it's dad was. One of them.
That's the first time I learned about
Eritrea.
yeah.
And so
That's the first time I heard about that country.
Nipsey Hussle kind of put us on the map.
Yeah.
And Tiffany Haddish.
Yes, Tiffany Haddish.
But yeah, so my childhood, like I remember being bullied because I didn't know how to speak English. My hair was like big. Well, now it's not considered nappy, but as a child, it's very nappy.
Yeah.
And so it's just crazy how far, I didn't let that stop me. I was just like, okay, well, I just look weird. Nobody believed me that I was African because I'm not light skinned with nappy hair. And I'm like, I'm not dark skinned.
Yeah.
I'm like, we all don't look like
Yeah,
that.
because the stereotypical idea that they tell us of Africans are like some dark-skinned people.
Yes, with nappy hair.
Yeah.
And no, that's not the case. Some of us got decent graded hair or whatever. And that just taught me a lesson like, dang, y'all judge people off every little thing. We're not all the same.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy how life just takes a turn. And those same people are now like, they want to be friends or they want to, do this. It's a hard pass for me.
You know what? In Eritrea, how far is that from Ethiopia?
They're neighboring.
Okay, because to me, if I would look at you, I would think that you were Ethiopian.
It's the same.
Okay.
It's literally the same. They got their own independence, like I think, like in the 90s.
Okay.
But it's the same.
Okay.
Like I don't correct people when they say that.
Yeah, when we were young, one of my sisters has a really slim. She's slimmer than the rest of us, and people would always say like, "You look Ethiopian."
She did tell me that.
Yes, she would get it so much that we started looking up Ethiopians because my sister's beautiful. I'm like, who are these people? But you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Your hair. So you've got like a really curly pattern, but your texture's a little different. Is this a part of the culture? Like, is there any intermingling? Okay.
Yeah, we pretty much all have like similar texture here. Like super
I feel
curly,
like that.
thick. It's like rare.
What is the history behind? Because even
Italian.
Nipsey.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we all have like similar hair.
Yeah.
So it is kind of weird.
Okay.
But we all look the same.
Yeah.
Nose, cheeks, big forehead.
Yeah. The thing about being an African American, we don't know what all, because especially from the South.
Everything.
Yeah, we have everything mixed. And I think it's beautiful. So you get here to America and you didn't know the language and your family is from a whole other country. So they're having to learn the culture, learn the language. And so you're learning, and then nobody had gone to college, obviously.
No.
So you're first generation.
Not in my immediate family. I'm the first one.
And you taught yourself, like, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, I remember, because I was like, am I supposed to go to college? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I didn't get my first year after graduating high school. I was just like, well, I can't afford it. Like, I don't even know what to do.
Right.
And I remember filling out financial aid because all my friends were like, they're going to UT, they're doing this. I was like, how y'all affording this?
Right.
Well, we applied for scholarships and my dad is paying for it. My dad is the chairman at, A&M. Okay, so I don't have that.
Right.
My mom is cleaning, hospital beds. So we definitely can't do that. And I remember trying to get my mom to work at TCU because it's in Fort Worth. I was like, hey, if you work at TCU, janitorial, I can go to school for free. And she was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I found out, my grades were horrible. It was just like, just safe.
Yeah.
Because I was
just
like,
getting by.
Yeah, I was just like, just enough to still want to have fun.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what, fuck it. Let me go to TSU. I had like a distant cousin that was in pharmacy school, and I just said, let me just do it. And then I had another friend from Fort Worth. We just came out here, Kanisha. Now she's a mega star or whatever. But yeah, I just really just figured life out on my own.
Wow.
Like I have really good support system as far as like my foundation, but I never made excuses for myself.
Yeah. So
once I realized that, I was like, no, like there's people that came from less than what I have and they made it with nothing. Like I've heard like so many horror stories. So I was like, I actually have more than them.
Yeah. So you got into law. I'm sorry,
No.
you got into taxes. And that was because of the individual that was kind of mentoring you and encouraging you?
Actually, I don't know if you know, I was working at Frenchie's and that was like a whole shit show, whatever. And like I've always been one of those people like, I'm going to figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
you can put me in any position. I don't care what it is. I will figure out how to run a podcast, whatever it is. And so I was talking to Yas. I was like, girl, I think I'm going to need a job soon or whatever.
Oh.
And she was like, well, you can just come work up here, blah, blah, blah. I literally begged the CEO to hire me. Like, begged. Like, I had to go back and read the emails. And he was like, well, then I found out after he hired me, he's like, you had all the experience, but you were just too young. And I was like, really? I was like, I'm really smart. Like, I can figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally started, that's why I said a flunky, because I didn't have no title. I was just like, well, what do you want me to do? Make copies? What you want me to do?
Yeah.
So I would sit there after everybody left. I was like, you know what? Let me just figure out this database, the system. I was like, can I get access to this? And I figured out like, oh, y'all losing our money on here. We can make money here. And so they had no choice but to promote me.
Wow.
So, yeah. But Yasmin got me in.
Yeah.
And I had no experience. I didn't know nothing about Frenchies or frying chicken. I don't know how to cook. But I figured out, you know, how to run a business. I think that's what I'm good at, is structuring a business.
Yes.
And every business is literally ran the same way.
Yes, I agree.
As far as, like, the major components.
Yeah. So what in the end got you into the tax business?
Well, yes. As far as like owning it?
Yeah.
Well,
owning it, becoming successful.
Yeah, I was already doing it for so long. Mm-hmm. So this year I finally said, you know what, I could do this on my own. I love, you know, the guys were great to me for 10 years. But I just had to take care of me first. It was like time to be selfish.
And have you met like a lot of people that way? Because I see that you know everybody.
I know.
Is it the business side or is it the personal? Is it social side?
So I can talk to anybody. Like I've like my friend Brandy and Yaz. They'll say, "Look, girl, okay, that's enough, girl. That is enough." Well, I think she want to say hi. No, girl, you don't know them. Girl, I'm gonna say hi to them. She don't have nobody to talk to. Like, well, maybe she don't want to be bothered. Let me just find out. So I just talk to anybody, and then eventually I'll find out that, oh, your mom has a tax office? Oh, okay, perfect. So literally that's how I built my book of business, is just talking to strangers. I talk to anybody.
Okay. So I'm back in real estate now, and that's one of the things that they've been telling me. For lead generation, you just got to talk to everybody. You've got to, you know, be friendly, especially if it's your community and you're helping the community. But people don't do business because of a card. They do business because of the relationship that they build with you. Yeah. Yes. And if you're a very, you know, pleasing person and it's easy to talk to you, then it's easy to do business with you.
And I'm not going to say I'm a pleaser. I'm more like, I'm very brutally honest.
Yes.
Like, I don't.
Yes, you are.
I will tell you exactly how I feel. Hey, this is what it is.
Yes. But you know what? I've seen you in a situation before, and I know you could have been brutally honest and you held back. So I even though, because a lot of people are brutally honest, but there's a time and a place, and there's also a way to do it. And then there's some battles that you just don't choose to pick.
Oh, yeah. I do know how to pick and choose my battle. Like, okay, well, I just walk away from it. That's not that serious.
Yeah. Where did the Saba said come from? Where did these nice quotes that because you talk about, like, I love everything. The things that first of all, I have a podcast, so I love people who are direct. I love people who are authentic and transparent. And I love some of the things that you call people out on. That's why I tune in all the time. But, you know, where did you build up this voice?
Girl, honestly, every time somebody will say something, it always ended up, what Saba said. What Saba said. And I'm like, damn. Well, Saba said I can get in. Saba said, so it don't matter what the conversation is. Like, even yesterday, Saba said. I'm going to hear that at least 10 times.
Yeah.
Because I do talk a lot. I don't know why. And I'm very, not opinionated, but more, I'm very vocal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get punked or, you know, like for my size, like I'm very like, what did you say?
Right.
But so people just started gravitating to that. And I was like, you know, I need to change my name to Saba said. Like, and I literally got my name. This is my birthday present to me. I was like, I'm just going to stick with Saba said.
Yeah.
And I am trying to put a book together, like full of quotes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like whether, you know, if you're having a bad day, you can go to this chapter. If you're, you know, somebody made you mad or, you're depressed, like just different stuff that you can reference to that way, just something to look back. Hey, it's not as bad as you think it is.
I love that. I want to talk about something that you mentioned in your bio because you started reading certain books that helped to start change your mindset. Let's talk about that.
So the first book that I read was The Secret. It almost was like a joke.
Yes.
Because it was like, really, my mind's like, I have control over everything. That's
right. And that's something.
And I remember somebody telling me, let's do a vision board.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, oh man, it's the same shit, this book, like, it's in your mind. I was like, some dumb shit. Like, no, I'm broke. Like, help.
Right.
And so I just started, I was like, you know what, let me just pay attention.
Yeah.
Let me listen to everything that Rhonda Byrne is saying or whatever. And I was like, I get a check, like, mind you, Texas Southern is saying they can't release my degree because I had a balance. Well, it was a bunch of other bullshit. But and then next thing you know, I get a check for like $1,500. Like, how y'all go from, I owe y'all $600 that I did not have. I was just like, hey, fuck that degree. I don't even need it. So now y'all cut me a check. And so then I've always been one of those people. I don't check the mail. Like, oh gosh. So then I was like, I'm going to start checking the mail more often. And I was just getting like small amounts.
Oh my
goodness. It was just like these random blessings. I remember this dude, he was like, man, I got to hook up at this furniture store. And I was like, man, I ain't got no money. Like, I ain't got shit. Like, me and my son sleeping on an air mattress and I have nothing. And he was like, no, it's on me. And I was like,
oh my goodness.
So it was just like,
so you started to see things beginning to manifest.
It was like, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like insane. I was like, I got to stop with this poor mentality.
Yes.
And fix my mindset and I can get it.
Yes.
It might not be when you want it, but it's going to come eventually. Like my first vision board that I made in 2000, it's about like early 2000. I didn't even think about it. I remember when I was moving into my house, like my vision board was like basic. I was living like in a 1-bedroom apartment, me and my son. So I was like,
what'd you put on there?
The house that I want, the car. It was at the time, it was a Range Rover. It's ironic. That's what I have now. I didn't think about none of this until like 6 years ago. So I'm writing everything down, got the pictures. I'm in the house and it's basically, I don't have a mega mansion or nothing like that. It's just basic house. But it was like stucco in the front, exactly like my vision board. Everything that I put on that vision board. And I just did one last year, and everything is like slowly coming together just off that vision board. So I take stuff like that very serious.
I do too. I've always been a vision person, but I didn't know about vision boards. I worked for an insurance company for a while, and they would say, put, your why, or put something that makes you want to come to work every day. If there's like a car that you want, or if there's something that you're working for, like something that motivates you. So I put a Range Rover on my refrigerator. I'm like 21 years old, and my son's father comes over to pick up our son, and he sees the refrigerator with that Range. That's what you think you're going to drive? You will never get a Range Rover. And I was looking at that Range Rover like, I will never get that. But I didn't listen to him. I remember like maybe within a couple of years, I was driving that Range Rover. I think the first time that it resonated with me that the things that I was looking at were actually coming true is I wanted a Altima. This was going to be like my first car. And I had put the brand new Altima on my refrigerator. My cousins all came over and they're like, "Ooh, Lisa's cool."
You see how your mindset shifted from an Altima.
Yeah, after the Altima, I went to the Range Rover. But I put the Altima on there, and because I'd gotten it in the mail, and I was just looking at it, and I said, "Let me put it up here." And then maybe that summer later, I remember my cousin coming down from Louisiana. We were for a football game or something, and they said, "Lisa, remember you had this on your refrigerator?" And it dawned on me. I was like, I sure did have this. It actually didn't resonate with me until I started to see like these things are happening. For a minute, I would think those were just merely coincidences. And then the more that I began to see it, the more that I knew something's going on here. the law of attraction.
Yes, I am a firm. Like every time somebody says like something, hey girl, don't speak that on me.
Yes, I love that.
Because like whatever you say, like your tongue is like so powerful, and I'll be like, no, you cannot say that.
Yeah.
No, oh my gosh, my life is fucked up. No, it's not, girl. It's a lady in the hospital wishing she had your life right now.
Right. Right.
So I don't ever like. I don't want to wish nothing bad, even on my worst enemies.
Absolutely.
I'm like one of those people, like, girl, no, I want her to win too.
Right.
I might not want to be around her,
Right.
but
Right.
I want sis to win, bro to win.
Right.
But yeah, like I'm a firm believer. That podcast, the vision board, it works. I'm about to do my third one now. So I'm like, now I have bigger dreams.
Right. Right. My family is like, I grew up in a very, very religious family. We've now, I feel like we're now very spiritual. We're not as dogmatic and legalistic, but sometimes, my mom or my family members will say something, and the best way for them to hear me say it, because they're used to religion and scriptures. And so I'll say to them, if they're saying something negative, I'll say, greater is he that lives in me than he that lives in the world. Or I'll remind them, so that a man thinketh, so is he. So you can't think like that. You can't say those things.
So you're saying it to where in a language that they can understand.
I'm saying it in a way so that they can understand. But, I do remind them, they ask God in the Bible, like, who are you? God says, I am who I am. So I remind them, I am powerful. I am. But I'm speaking about the God in me, because greater is him that lives in me. So I think that because, some people don't like manifesting, but I tell my mom, manifesting is praying. It's
it really is.
It's synonymous with praying. So when I say that I manifested this, I'm telling you that I prayed about it, and it has now manifested into fruition, is what we would say in church. This is the form of it, but it started in my thoughts, and God gave me the power to have those thoughts and believe that it could happen. Reading your story, you talk about like the very humbleness of getting to where you're at now, but sometimes we'll see someone pulling up in a Range Rover and we don't understand what happened for them to get here. Okay, your son is like, older now. So they don't understand the hard times when it's just you and your kid and you're sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
And those opportunities and those trying times deserve their moment, because that is encouraging someone who's not where we are now today.
And honestly, that's just always like a car. Like I've never been a car person.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
A lot of my friends will tell you, Saba is cheap as hell.
Right.
Like, she gonna eat.
All right.
I don't have a budget for food, but materialistic stuff, like it's almost like, and we just had this conversation on our last trip. If it was up to me, girl, I have a paid off Honda Accord.
Yeah.
Be happy. But I know how with my type of business, I gotta kind of look like a certain type of way, because our people are kind of very judgmental.
We call it in real estate, we call it a real estate car. Because you have
can't
to
pull up in a big up car. They're gonna be like, girl, you can't tell me how to make money.
Right. No, it's true. We do look at that. Yeah, we need an example.
And it's sad. Yeah. Because I had a girl, at one point I had like a couple, nice cars or whatever. And the girl, because I was in between switching cars, and I ran into this girl, and I used to have like this little Honda Civic that I literally never left Pearland in that car. Like, it was just like, I am just driving around in my neighborhood, going to the grocery store or whatever. So she seen me, and I'm looking at her, and I was like, "Yeah, she looking at me for?" So it was just like this look of like disgust.
In a Honda Civic.
So she called somebody and said, "Ooh, Saba done fell off."
Oh my God. And they do it.
And it's so messy and like unnecessary. Like, and my homeboy, thank God he checked, like, girl, Saba got a Range Rover and a Panamera. Like, what are you?
Right.
What?
It's sad that
It's
our
so
success is based off of what it looks like, because there are people who are driving around in Bentleys and they can't afford them. It's sad that we have to look a certain way to show the level of success. We were talking about it in real estate, because there's a luxury $1 million realtor, and he says, I don't pull up in a Range Rover. I drive this is a white guy. I drive a Honda Civic. I said, but you know what? It is different in the different cultures.
Yes,
and
I wish I was
we
him.
do want, white guy can pull up in a Honda Civic with $1 million property
judge him
at all. You'd be like, he
millionaire
rich.
next door.
Yes. But they want us to look a certain way. They want our clothes to look a certain way. We can't pull up in a bun with our hair in a bun and a ponytail all the time. They'll be like, why you don't have a good hairstylist? We're judged on all these things.
Yeah, I hate that part about it. It's like I really hate it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't pull it up because I've met multimillionaires that are in a regular schmegler car
Me
and
too.
nobody is judging them like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, did he fall off? No, he actually still got a bunch of money.
Right.
But they don't have, they're at, like, I want to get to a point where I don't have to, not impress, but almost like show you what I have just so
Right.
you could do business with me. Like, once
Right.
you get to a certain level,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. I don't care what you think of me.
Right.
I'm going to pull up in my Honda Civic
Right.
with a smile, and I
Okay.
might have a Birkin or I might have a Target bag
Yes.
or Amazon bag, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But when I get there, I'm going to be one of those people like, I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
The ego. I was reading that it's our ego.
Yeah.
And when we can release our ego, then we won't care what people say about us.
Exactly.
Because we will know who we are.
Exactly.
The other book that you talked about was Think and Grow Rich. I've been trying to
Napoleon
read that.
Hill.
It's a little tough for me to get through.
Honestly, you got to read that book like a bunch of times.
Yes. Okay. That's what I've been hearing. Okay.
And then I would start off with at least the Audible.
yes.
Or actually, it's on YouTube for free.
I have the Audible.
That's the easiest way. But
Okay.
it's definitely like a must read. Like,
You know what? Everybody that I know.
and 48 Laws of Power. I live by that.
I love 48 Laws of Power. Everybody that I know that is successful says Think and Grow Rich is a book that you need to read. That's even a part of, I'm with Keller Williams, it's a part of the Gary Keller. That's a part of the booking that they
Actually,
want you to
just
read.
downloaded his book. Because
Mhm.
I'm renewing my real estate license now.
Okay.
I'm like, ugh, try this one more time.
Yes, girl. Come on back.
Yes. And I was
Yeah.
with Keller Williams.
Yeah, and so I've seen, a lot of people have taken those principles. Now he's one of the most Keller Williams is one of the most successful brokerages in
Yes,
America.
in the world.
And he took those same principles from Think and Grow Rich. I was reading your bio, and I know a lot of other successful people that I know who have read the book that I would consider successful. And so it's really nice to have this conversation among us
Yeah.
because this is something that we want to introduce to our friends and family.
That's
It's no
what I like
fun
to
when it's
read.
just a couple of us who are successful, when we can implement the things that you need. Hey, why don't you start by picking up this book and reading this book?
And you know what? You'll be surprised. Like, I'm one of those people, I can tell you everything I know.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Whatever is in my brain. Girl, let me write it down. What else you want to know?
Mm.
It doesn't matter. You're not everybody's going to implement
Right.
it. Because I've had people tell me, like, girls, you need to start charging. Stop giving them free game. They can go behind your back. And girl, she's not going to do nothing.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter.
Right.
Like, so our people, we not about to pick up a book. The majority, and it's so sad. Like,
Yeah.
everything is in there, though.
Yeah. It takes some really humbling for you to say, like, God, what can I do? Can you send me a sign? Here's your sign.
Yeah.
Open up the book. So I love your friendships. I love seeing Black women together, successful Black women. I love the support that you guys have. I know Brandy. I've met Brandy a few times, and I love Brandy's heart. I saw you guys recently, and it was such an amazing experience watching it. So I wanted to talk to you about your fabulous weekend. So I want you to introduce us. Tell us about the name of it, how you ended up getting there.
Girl, I don't know the name of it. I was just so happy to be there. We are Wearable Art Gallery.
The Wearable Art Gallery, yes, with
Tina
Knowles, yes.
So Brandy's actually been a few times.
I've seen it.
Yes.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And she was like, girl, you want to go? I ain't gonna lie, it's a pretty penny. But it was worth every penny. Because it was like, just to be at the table of all these successful people, and like, you're not far from them.
Yes, you weren't far at all.
Like, we were sitting, like, Beyonce was
I could
right
see
there.
Beyonce from your phone. I was like,
Tyler Perry was right there.
that is crazy.
But sometimes you gotta, like Brandy and her friend said, like, we have to pay to be there.
Yeah.
And it's worth the investment. I was like, I'm going next year and I'm gonna get a table even closer.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of those things, like, that's why I said I'm gonna do my vision board, because I am.
Yeah, Saba, you're at a table next to Tina Knowles, Beyonce Knowles. Like, these are some of the greatest leaders in our time right now.
Perry.
Tyler Perry, like, these are some of the most established and influenced Black people of our time.
Yes.
And you're a woman who was sleeping on the floor and has worked your way up, has a vision board, has read your books, and now you're sitting at the table. You know, they say if you don't have a seat at the table,
You gonna make one.
okay, I'm looking at you at this table.
And I really think it's just part of like just being connected to the right people.
Right.
Like I've every year, like I want to make myself better. So
Yes.
sometimes you got to get rid of certain situations. Like you
Yeah.
can still be friends with them, but from a distance or
Right,
whatever the case.
right.
So I'm learning that once you're connected to the right person,
Right.
it's gonna be so many opportunities gonna be opening up. So this year has been like my year. I met an amazing mentor, and everything that she told me I was gonna. The lady that did my birthday party. So
Mhm.
if y'all have a birthday party, let her do it.
You had a fabulous birthday party too.
Yes, she did that.
Yes.
And so she told me when I first met her, she was like, "Hey, this is your season. You need to do this. You need to do that." Now, mind you, I didn't listen to her the first couple of things that she told me, and I was like, "Damn, you did tell me that." So it's like I just learned to connect myself to
Yes.
the right people. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't care. I will hold your coattail. What you want me to do?
Yeah.
Because sometimes to be a leader, you do have to serve.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the first things that you need
Yeah.
to do. In order to lead me, if someone's trying to train me on something, I want to know that you knew this first before you tried to train me to do it. I worked for two billionaires, a husband and wife, the Arnolds, and they're here in Houston. One of their initiatives is criminal justice reform. They work with Meek Mill, Jay-Z, like
Oh, nice.
Van Jones. And so when I saw that they were hiring, I said, like, I've been wanting to work for this company forever. I will do whatever. What position do y'all have available? Like, I will take it because I wanted to be around the right people. I wanted to just see their mindset. I wanted to see how they live, some of their habits. I wanted to develop and I wanted to change myself so
Yes.
that this is the trajectory that I want for my life. I do believe that, sitting yourself at the right tables definitely opens doors and also allows you to dream an even bigger vision.
Yes, because sometimes like you only know what you know.
Right.
You can be like right here and you think, oh no, life is great. Then you meet somebody and I'm like, what? I didn't know that was possible.
Right.
So like even with traveling, I never thought that I would meet so many people from traveling. Like every trip we meet somebody, oh, okay, let's exchange numbers. And now we're slowly including them.
Wow.
But it's like, I want to be in a position where I'm learning from my friends. I'm learning from the people that I even do business with.
Yeah.
I learn from anybody.
Yeah.
So I never want to be in a position where I feel like I'm too good for anything.
Yeah.
Like,
So I think that your business is really important to, I'm an entrepreneur, but I feel like your business is important because having my taxes done and having them done correctly affects me purchasing a home, purchasing vehicles, but also just showing my income. And when you start off with your business, sometimes you're not keeping the right records because you're trying to have your business. And that's like so much on the administrative side. You got to be the administrative as well as the talent. So having someone like you as a resource is important.
yeah, I'm very resourceful. So I don't get into the technical aspect as far as like, oh, is this person taxes done? What
Yeah.
I do is, let's say, for instance, if you say, girl, who can I get my taxes done? And I trust this person. I would trust this person to do my taxes. But I'm more on the back end, like if you have your own tax business, hey, Saba, how can you help me grow my business? Okay, well, I can save you money in this department, that department, that department, and I'll give you some money at the end of the year.
Wow.
So now I'm just like targeting, like, if you got a tax business, nobody can beat my prices. Like literally nobody.
So what does your business do? I don't understand.
So, in order to have a tax office, you have to you have to have a software.
Okay.
So these softwares can cost from anywhere from $1,200 to $3,000.
Okay.
So I pay like pennies for it. So I can easily give it to you for free. So you're winning there. I'm already saving you, a couple $1,000s.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the banking, the registration. So it's just like any back end stuff that you need for your business to operate. So, or even if you have like technical issues, so I give you like 100% support.
Okay. I've seen like more I know like two friends who have opened tax offices, but for like accounting purposes and bookkeeping, stuff like that. But I mean, I'm always happy to see like when we're growing as entrepreneurs, period.
Yes, girl, because the tax industry is a white man's world
Right.
as far as like the people up top.
Yes.
But the ones that actually are doing all the, we're the little busy bees.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're making them so rich. And I'm like, so I want to get to a point where like, I want to be that black girl that has her own software or a bank, instead of, I still got to deal, not saying I love my white people now, don't get it twisted. I still got to go with them directly. Yeah. So I want to build like right now, like everybody wants to do business. Well, I'm not going to say everybody wants to do business with me. Like I have an unbeatable opportunity. So, but I just want it to grow to a point where, hey, I want us to have our own software.
Yeah.
And in the 11 years that I've been doing this, I've only met one girl, Erica. I think Erica Shantae on Instagram. She was the only person I ever met that said, girl, I got to get my own software. Like, for real, like, build it. It's going to cost this, but we can do it.
Wow.
I'm like, really, girl? So it's like our mindset is like so poor and we just believe whatever somebody tells us. Because I was like, girl, no, it's expensive. And then when she told me that, I was like, wow, yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
Even if it takes like 10, 20 of us, at least we got our own. We're not going through no middleman. They're making all the money. We doing all the work. Like, I want to, create like better opportunities for our people.
I think you're a great example, and reading your story is really inspirational. What would you say to a young lady who is, not where she wants to be yet? Maybe a young Saba. What would you say? Like, these are the steps to take to get to where you're going to want to be in life. I
don't know why I got emotional. I would probably say, don't give up. Write down your goals, whatever it is that you want out of life. Write every single thing that you want, done to accomplish, and read it every day and night. That's like your new Bible. Not saying disregard your the real Bible, but that's your other Bible.
Okay.
Believe in yourself. Do not give up. I can curse.
Yes.
Don't depend on no man for shit.
Yeah.
Get your own bag. Focus on you. If you have a child, put that child first.
Yeah.
Then you can say fuck them kids. Because now I'm like team fuck them kids because my son is grown. But it's like, make yourself a priority. And it's okay to be selfish. And that's one of the things that I've always struggled. Like, well, no, she needs help. No, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell my young self.
Are you a giver? Yeah, because when you said that, I know givers, we love to help. We love to give. And then sometimes you look up and you see like maybe we're enabling because we're always giving and these people are not acquiring the skills that they need so that they can also be a resource and be a giver. But I do know that when people are givers, they're blessed.
Now I think I'm finally,
doing the ebb and flow of knowing how to do it.
Now I'm finally like reaping what I sowed, 10 years ago. So I started a nonprofit, and before I had my nonprofit, it's for single moms.
Yes. That was a part of your bio. I felt like I read last time.
Yeah, but I didn't want to include it because my website not done yet.
Well, let's talk about it because it's when I was a single mom. Eventually, once I got married, I started a nonprofit for mothers and children.
That's what mine is.
Yeah, that's one of the things that stood out for me when I was reading it. I wanted to help women who were in my situation and the young men or the children who didn't have examples as fathers who were not in their life. And we did a lot of prison ministry at that point. But it definitely, for me, when I was reading your bio, resonated with me. But it's a beautiful example when you have people who have been in your shoes and are just an example of like, if you stay in, that type of mindset and you believe that it can happen.
And so when I started my nonprofit, before I started my nonprofit, I used to always do these events. So my birthday is around school when kids go back to school. And I was like, you know what? I want to stop having parties just because.
Yeah.
Let me implement school drive. So I was like, hey, you want to come to my party? But bring some school supplies. I don't care, backpacks, whatever. So we'll have like so much stuff, like, to donate. And even like for the holidays, I did it a few times with a few good men and doing toy drive, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we did a big event in for Hurricane Harvey, like at Prospect Park. It was like, I didn't think it was gonna blow up as big as it did.
Mm.
And but it was all about giving back. And so I never knew why I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, girl, I need this. Oh, girl, I need, you know. And I was like, dang, everybody's always like, I was like, I don't have no money to pay you though. So I realized, like, man, these people like giving up their time. Hey, how much money you need? And I was able to help out so many women. And then, but I was always digging deeper in my pocket. And I was like, damn, this shit is like killing me. Like, I can't help. No, I said I want to help 50 women. I think it's going to be like 5 this year because I didn't have an event, nothing. So I wasn't able to raise no money. So then somebody said, girl, why you don't get no nonprofit?
Right.
What you mean? So you get other people to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Right.
See, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So I started my nonprofit and then, you know, that did pretty good. And now I'm trying to revamp it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always been a giver, but then I realized, like, damn, ain't nobody doing shit for me.
Right.
So then I made the shift and I was like, I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to take care of me first. And then I realized if I'm not good, I can't take care of my son the way I want to. I can't take care of my parents the way I want to, my nieces, nephews. So let me be good. I'm going to be a whole person. Like, I don't like being in relationships without being whole. I learned that the hard way. Because if you just, everybody should be 100%. So I'm at 25 because I can't even afford to put gas in my car and groceries, about to get evicted. So, girl, you ain't got no business being in no relationship.
At all. Get yourself together.
Yes, that's been my motto the last couple relationships. Are you whole?
Right.
Are you healed?
Right. Are you healed?
Healed.
Absolutely.
Like, I need you to be a full man on your own before you get with me, because I'm healed. I'm good by myself. I don't need validation.
Right.
And if I'm doing this for myself, I'm traveling, seeing the world. You have to come with it. Or just leave me alone.
Right. You gotta be able to pay for your ticket.
Yes.
You gotta be able to take off work. Right. We gotta have a good trip if you're gonna be there. I love though that, because I feel like there's a season when we do give. And then there also is a time when we have to take a step back and say, like, okay, giving is a gift. So we have to be careful of our gift, because people can take advantage of that. But we can also abuse our gift. Sometimes I know I can give. So there was a time when I said, I'm not, and I was very proud of myself, because really and truly, that was hard for me to do, because I'm such a giver. When those opportunities came and something would be like, go ahead and do. No, I'm not going to do that. They're going to figure this out on their own.
I started charging people now for information. Because I'm like, man, you know how to call me every day. You got a number for this? No.
Right.
Give me $50.
Right.
You done got 50 different numbers out of me. Give me $50 for this one. Because people will take advantage of you if you let them. I mean, like, and then stomp you afterwards.
Right, Saba. So what happened to me was how I even started in their closet was because I would be going to my girlfriend's house. I was a stay-at-home wife at the time, and I would be going to my girlfriend's houses, and I would be doing their closet, because they'd come and, we want to see your closet.
So it is real closet. Okay.
This is the podcast umbrella portion of the business, but I would go into my friend's closet, and one day my partner was looking for me, and he called me. I said, I'm at my friend's house. He said, well, when you get done, come back to the house. I came back to the house about 2 hours later. How long had you been there? Been there about 4 hours. I did her closet. He said, how much did they pay you? I said, they didn't pay me. He said, no, my wife does not work for free. You're going to get paid. You're going to get a business, go get a DBA, do what you got to do. You're not doing someone's whole closet for free. And people would call me and say, Lisa, I'm getting ready to go out on a trip. What should I wear? Can you send me the website for this? Can you do that?
Girl,
and I would be doing it. Yeah, girl, I was sending da-da-da. And he said, Lisa, you're doing all this stuff for free. People charge for this. And so when I started my business,
paid for it a couple times.
Right. When I started my business, the first person who paid me, after I did their closet, they paid me, and then I went in my car and I cried. I could not believe somebody had paid me to do their closet, something I'd been doing for free. But it did dawn on me that people would have continued to take advantage of me had I not. Yes.
You literally got to put your foot down. That's why I say, oh, girl, they going to take. You're going to do their clothes and then they're going to stomp you a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what probably anything, when you're a giver, if you're just, let me give, they'll just be taking it. They'll continue to take it. So it's nice when you have that wake up in you and you say like, okay, now it's time for me to take care of me. And God will send you people. I know I started praying like, God, send me some good people. Send me some good friends who reciprocate, who do for me the way I do for them. It took a little while. And during that time that I was waiting, I got to know myself better. I got to know some of my ways better so that when I did meet those people, I wasn't projecting onto them things from the past.
Exactly.
And I was also open and ready to receive them and ready to receive my blessing that I had prayed for.
And that is one of my mentors got me working on, because I was one of those people, like, I realized when she said it that if somebody tried to do something nice for me, oh, no, let me pay you. No, it's okay.
Right.
Just like, shut the fuck up.
Got to receive it.
You have to be a good receiver. Mm-hmm. You got to be a giver and a receiver.
Yes.
And so I was like, so now my neighbor, if they try to do something for me, I'm like, okay, well, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It takes some getting used to, doesn't it?
It's hard.
It does. And that's something we got to get used to receiving from people.
Now I'm like, okay.
Right.
I am like, I'm learning the hard way. And literally, I've learned this like the last 3-4 months. I'm like, you pay for lunch? Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no like we going back and forth about the bill, because I was the queen of, no, I got it. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, girl.
Right. I went out with a girlfriend a few years ago. We were sitting at the bar talking, having a drink. We both paid for our own drinks and just enjoying each other's company. And then the bartender comes over and he says, this is another round. This gentleman over here has, paid for your drinks. And he just, he doesn't want anything. He just wanted to give you guys this drink. And then we look over and I smile and I say, thank you, I'm polite for the drink. My friend says, send it back. We can afford our own drinks. And I said, wait a minute.
No.
I said, wait a minute. It was just a polite gesture. Like, that's it. The man never bothered us. He didn't come and leave his business card.
The type of man right
yes.
there.
He just told the bartender, he said, those are two beautiful women sitting at the bar. I want to pay for whatever they're drinking. And that's what he did. But I know that she was so uncomfortable. I can take care of this myself. And I said, but it's okay if someone wants to do something nice.
Girl, let them.
Yes. But that just has a lot to do with, we will pray for things, but we have to be ready to receive them. God has to change our heart so that when people do nice things, we're not insulted.
No.
Like, I'm not offended because you opened the door for me or that you called to check up on me. What you calling me for? Because you do want people to call. Yeah. So when we put our heart in that receptive mode, we're going to be tested. We got to be ready to receive that blessing.
You will be tested.
Yes. So before we close out, there are so many things that people can get from your story about success and being humble and working hard. And you've let us know about some books that we can read. And of course, we're going to go and follow Saba.
Keep forgetting about this camera.
We're going to go and follow Saba so we can hear some of the things that she says. But going into the future, like what are you looking forward to? You said you're writing new visions and making new goals.
Man, right now I'm focusing, my son's about to go to college and he's an amazing kid. Yes. So I'm excited about that. Just being able to take care of my family. Like my biggest goal in life next is buying my parents a brand new house, fully furnished, and saying, fuck this house. Yeah. This is yours. I'm not even going to ask y'all. Like, that is it. Like, my mom, she's taking care of my niece. And, they too old. So I was like, I want to get them a nanny. That way you just enjoy retirement. Yeah. So that is, like, my ultimate goal.
That's a beautiful goal.
Like, ultimate. If I can do that, like, I'm happy.
Yeah. I love that. I love that it wasn't like a yacht or...
Girl, hell no. I'll just be on somebody else's.
You know what? As the older that I get,
I'm not really like materialistic.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that though. You said that earlier. But as I get older, my goals have changed. Like, especially now that I do people's closets all the time, I see that there's no value in this stuff. You know, it's trendy, but we waste a lot of money looking good for people. Really, I want my grandson to have something to fall back on. I want my family to live a comfortable life. I want my parents, you know, to live their older years peacefully, you know, enjoying it. Yes.
I am big on peace right now. Like, that is my biggest blessing is peace.
Absolutely. And that's something how we probably wouldn't have even, that wouldn't even been something that we'd have thought about.
No, like, peace, girl.
Right.
Peace.
Right. I come home and I'm like, oh, it's just so peaceful in my home. It's so beautiful.
I'm not arguing with nobody.
Yes.
So
it's a blessing.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how important peace was.
Yes.
So I could take 40 some years for me to enjoy this.
Right.
And I'm enjoying it.
The 40s are my favorite years. The 40s have been my favorite so far.
People try to like, oh my gosh, do you feel old? No, girl, I am living it.
Yes. I got my voice at 40.
Yes.
Yeah. I won't take a lot of stuff. You know, I stopped giving so much.
You're not going to tolerate no BS,
yes.
no nothing.
I cut it off. I'm very like, you know, I think I wanted to be friends with people when I was younger. Now I know like, nope, this is going to intrude into my peace.
You're going to attract the right people.
Right. Reading the book, learning how, like, what I'm attracting is in my mindset, and I can have, you know, what I think that I deserve, knowing my worth and value has really changed the trajectory of my life.
Yes.
Yeah. So where can the people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they support you?
So my Instagram, actually, that's the only thing I'm on right now is Instagram. It's Saba _ said SAID. So same as my necklace.
SAB as in boy, A. Yes.
_ SAID.
Okay. We look forward to continuing to see you. I can't wait to see your next year videos with Beyonce, Jay-Z, Tina Knowles.
I can't wait.
That was a beautiful event. I'm so glad you shared it.
It was amazing.
So I was like, that experience looked amazing. And you said, this is something that I look forward to doing again, and it's just going to get bigger and it's just going to get better. And it was so inspirational.
Every year. Yes. And I learned so much.
Yeah.
And that was literally, we went to the event, then we had brunch the next day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love you guys.
I love my friends.
Yes. So I'm just excited, man. Life is only going to get better at this point.
Yes. Life is getting better and better every day. Thank you, Saba, for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I was like kind of nervous, but I was like, I think I can do this.
You can do it, girl. I've seen you talk. I knew you could do it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Ladies, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks on In Their Closet.